welcome back to my YouTube channel. You are going to see a lot of me this month. I just wanted to share some things that I am grateful for and to just build a community on my page. Next year I have some surprises coming out, so I just want you all to get to know me better. So this month of November I'm going to be focusing on what I'm grateful for. I'm going to try to post at least 3 videos a week. We'll see what happens. Please don't expect the glam every day. On the weekends I have more time on my hands to like look cute, but when it comes to during the week, it's work. Teaching, it's work. So I don't really have the extra 30 minutes a day to put makeup on. I have other things to do. But yeah, so what you can expect from my videos is just me sharing a story and a recommendation. This week I'm going to be recommending some cool books that I would recommend, and besides that, what I'm also grateful for. So yeah, I'm gonna start with, I don't actually have the book with me, but where's my phone? I have been listening to, this is my recommendation for today. I don't even know the name. So this is how I came up on it. I'm very cheap. I can't say cheap, but I love to read, and a lot of my money goes to books. And so I have Audible on my phone, and I really like to read novels, but when it comes to like self-help books, self-improvement books, business books and like that, I'd rather listen to it on my Audible. So I'm creating a list, and I won't tell you the name of the site that I was taking the book titles from, but it's some new app that they say that I don't know what their pitch is, but they basically are saying that entrepreneurs and stuff like that, they read about 5 books a day. You know, maybe I'm exaggerating, maybe it's a week, I don't know. But, and they basically are telling you what the titles are, and the authors of the books that these people empower read, they are going to bullet by bullet teach you the main points of their book. And so I'm like, oh, this is cool. But I don't mind listening to it. And since Audible, I have 1 credit a month, I'm going to make a wish list. So I was like going back and forth between the page and like adding to my Audible list so that I have some titles in mind. And like I was pressing the search and I put something addiction on Audible. And then this book popped up. And now I've been praying. I pray every day, every morning. I do my prayer journal every morning, and asking for, you know, some support from God for the situation that I was in. And it came up with this book. It's called How to Break Your Addiction to a Person. So I thought that was pretty cool to listen to, and I want to share this book. It's by Howard M. Halpern. He has his PhD, and he just talks about how things that happens in your relationship now are stemming from things of your childhood, things that have been unresolved, maybe with your family and things like that. And I thought there were certain things going on in my relationship that I didn't understand, and like listening to this, I was just like, whoa. And I feel like I just wanted to share this with you all in case you are dealing with a relationship and you don't know whether you should stay or leave it. And yeah, I think this is a starting point for me. A lot of things in it I could relate to, but at the same time, sorry, I'm all on my phone, but at the same time, this is the beginning of the healing process for me. So I'm kind of like always praying, you know, for some guidance in the situation that I was in, and I'm kind of like really happy that I have a starting point. So like when I go to my therapist, I know, you know, what I should be talking about, because there are things that I didn't realize. I guess because I don't think about it, I think it doesn't affect me. Like one of the things they talked about is like an absent parent, and I'm like, my biological father was absent from my life, but I don't see how that would play out in my life now, especially since I never think about him. No shade, but I don't. Growing up, I didn't think about him. He was never on my mind. So it was like, or I maybe thought of him a couple of times, but it wasn't like I was missing him. If you're not there, then you have nothing to miss. So yeah, so that happened, and I just wanted to share that book with you. I will also put the image on the screen so you can see it and download it. It's pretty cool. I actually have it on Audibles. That was a cool book that I stumbled upon, but I feel like I didn't really stumble upon it. I think I prayed for understanding, and this is what God presented to me. So I kind of feel like not so depressed right now. So cool. Just wanted to share that. And so for my story for today, I want to tell you about my experience that I had last week. So I was driving to work, and I literally get to work at 7 o'clock. I don't have to be to work till 8:20, but the parking is just so horrible that I get there on time. So I just plan in the morning, and then I try not to stay after school. And it's not too bad if you think about it, because what was I reading? How to be a CEO. They told me that the advice they gave people who want to be a CEO is you should arrive 45 minutes earlier than your start time and leave 15 minutes late. So I book it out of there when the bell rings. Yeah, that's just me, because I come so early. But I do get a lot of things done, and it allows me the time for myself after work, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so I was parking, mind you, 7 a.m. and it's still dark outside. That's how like early it is. It's dark outside, and on this particular day, I just want to set the scene. It's raining, it's pouring, and I'm driving around or whatever. I constantly look at my rearview mirror to see who's behind me. And so I was pulling up to a space, and I'm looking, there's nobody behind me. When I park, I put my hazards on. So I put my hazards on. I found a parking spot, and it had 2 spaces. So I'm like, what? Like literally across the street from my job. This is amazing. Because, and I'm like, maybe this is too good to be true. Maybe it's alternate side parking. So like I look up to see, make sure, because there was one time my car did get towed, and I had to pay $190 or $80 something to get it back. And I'm finding the ticket right now, but that's not nor here or there. So I'm like excited. So as I put my hazards on to reverse into the parking spot, there, mind you, there's 2 spaces enough for 2. There's space enough for 2 cars. So as I'm reversing in, this guy pulls up their vehicle, while I'm parking. So I continue to park, because I'm like that. Like I got really irritated real fast, and I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you not wait till I pull in for you then to pull in? So then he honks the horn, and so I stopped. And I was just like, okay, I'll let him park. So I just sat there, put my car in park, because I was just like, it's too early. I just sat there. I was like, oh, I was actually listening to my audiobook anyway. It was pretty early. I had found that spot really fast, so I had time to like chill and not rush into the building. So then the person that was driving the car comes up to my window and knocks on it, taps on it. And he goes, can you move up? I'm like, but you didn't let me finish parking. He was like, what? I can't hear you. I was just like, I was already irritated from before. So I was just like, no. I shook my head. I said no. And then he was like continuing, and I was like, bye. Like, I'm not going to go back and forth with you. I said no. So I didn't move my car up. This guy goes back into his car, and I'm going to put a picture on this video. He goes back into his car and literally drives his car into the back of my car. He didn't slam it. He like went and tapped it, but he left it there. And this is a picture I'm going to show you. So it took everything in me not to wow out. And I'm like, this is what my dad talks to me about. The road rage and stuff like that. He tells me about that all the time. He's from Jamaica. He was like, he knows people. I remember he told me a story about this guy in Jamaica that lost his life just because he waved somebody off or cut somebody off or something like that. And he was like, you know, you got to be careful out here. So that's what came to mind, like, Ravin, don't get crazy. So I waited for him to leave. So I would just continue to listen to my Audible book, and I just took a couple of deep breaths, because I know like this point I was really pissed. And so like I'm looking at my mirrors to make sure he's like walking around the car, whatever, doing what he has to do. And then eventually he leaves. He walks in the opposite direction of my job. So finally I get up. I was like, get out. I'm like, maybe I was doing too much. Maybe I could have been more considerate and moved up, you know? Let me assess the situation. So I go to the back of his car And I don't know, I'm gonna try to show you in the picture without showing his plates, but like there's literally like this much from the curb that he had to park. Like, and I was just like, so this man had all this space and he still chose to do that. So I'm like, okay. And so all of a sudden I look to my right, who's walking towards me? This man. I lost it. He got cursed out that day, and we exchanged words or whatever, and I was like, that's that. I walked away from him. Like, he kept following me or whatever. I went back in the car, closed the door, and then he left or whatever. And I got my stuff and I walked around. Like, I walked around the block just so I could cool off, because I don't want that energy going into the classroom and being around my kids with that attitude. So had nothing to do with nothing, so I don't want to give them bad energy. So I walked around, I woosah'd, and I go into the building thinking everything's great. Guess who's in the lobby? This dude is standing in the lobby. I'm just like, immediately I felt my blood boil again. So I just said hello to the security guard, kept walking about my business. He addressed me and I was just like, no, don't speak to me. And then he starts spazzing out. What did he say to me when I walked in? He was like, and you're still looking at me. Mind you, he's standing right next to the security guard. So I had to look in that direction, and he's literally standing next to her. And so I said, please don't speak to me, as I went into my school building. And then he continues to go. So I legit had to tell my supervisor, like, listen, this happened on the street, but business is business. I don't want to have to come into the school and, you know, have to deal with that every day. But I thought he was a security guard, but he actually isn't. He works in another school in the building. So that's pretty cool. So I really don't have to see him every day. Had I known that, I wouldn't have said anything. But the fact that I just told you to stop speaking to me and you felt the need to continue the conversation even though I told you to stop, yeah, that's not gonna happen. On the street, it's something different, but where I come to work, I like leave all the BS at the door. So yeah, that was my story, and I'm gonna show you the pictures, and I want you to comment below and let me know how you would have responded to that situation. I'm really proud of myself. I think I handled it well. I feel like if I was a guy, I don't think he would have went back into his car and did that. I think he's lucky that I wasn't a guy, because if it was somebody else, they would have beat his ass. Like, plain and simple, they would have beat his ass, especially where I'm from. So yeah, that's my story for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I also wanted to share with you that I am grateful for is what comes to mind. My favorite person in the world is my dad, just for stepping in and just being so supportive over the years. He's a very loving person. He's a very kind person. And yeah, maybe I'll have him on here and like let him introduce himself, and so he can tell you about all the things he likes to do. He's very shy, but he's a hard worker, and he takes care of his family. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please comment, subscribe, and like. And also, if there's something you want me to talk about, story time, or any questions you have, please comment below. Follow me on Instagram at Custom Made in New York. Later.